Okay, it's going live.
All right, Shalom. This is the brothers of GMS New Orleans coming at you with another live lesson. But before we get started, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh,
Yahweh,
Bahasham,
Bashem, Yahweh,
Yahushai,
Shalom,
Bahasham,
Shalom,
Barakah
Shalom.
Hakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you, sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure unto the end. Shalom. And in this lesson, we're just going to go into a few verses in Psalms chapter 18 and branch off of that. And it's dealing with King David talking about how the Most High, he was caught in the thick of his enemies during a battle, and the Most High saved him out of it by, beaming him up on a chariot. And what does that sound like? What's going to happen to the elect, which, Abaratazah, the brothers on this stream and myself are of that number. If you're of the elect, you're of the house of David. And we're going to go through a similar, instance. We're already surrounded by our enemies, and Jacob's trouble is quickly approaching. But in the midst of that, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai is ultimately going to beam us up on the chariots as nuclear missiles are going to be coming down, as well as those chariots firing laser beams. But brother can start as Psalms chapter 18, verse 12.
I got you. It's Psalms chapter 18, verse 12. It says, "At the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed, hailstones and coals of fire.
Keep going.
The Lord Yahweh also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire.
Read to verse 14.
Yea, he sent out his arrows and scattered them as he shot out lightnings and discomfited them."
So as it says, at the brightness that was before him, his thick clouds passed. And we know in the scriptures, clouds can be symbolic for the chariots. Hailstones and coals of fire, those chariots firing those laser beams. But hey, in these modern times, they're doing the same thing. And what else is being going to be fired during the elect getting beamed up? Those nuclear missiles. Yahweh also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yeah, he sent out his arrows and scattered them, and he shot out lightnings and discomfited them. And there are many precepts we can go into, relating this to the times we're coming into when the elect are going to get beamed up onto the chariots, and what nuclear missiles are going to be getting shot to the ends of the earth, as well as the chariots shooting, those laser beams, that concentrated heat. Which, if a brother can get me real quick, Second Esdras chapter 16, you can start at verse 11 and read to 13, Baba Kashai.
I got you.
Khan.
This Revelations. Second Ezra chapter 16. You said 11, right?
Khan, and you can read down to 13.
Khan, and it reads, "The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence."
And what did it say in that verse 13? Yahweh also thundered in the heavens, and the highest gave his voice, hailstones and coals of fire. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai threatening, and our enemies, these heathens, being utterly beaten to powder by the laser beams from the chariots, as well as the nuclear missiles.
Verse 12, "The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power."
Amawad, can you get me that precept in Isaiah 24 real quick, where it says the earth shall rock to and fro like a drunkard?
I'm holding it.
Khan and Quashab, before he gets that, can you read verse 15 in that Psalms 18?
Back in Psalms 18, the 15th verse, it says, Then the channels of waters were seen, and the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke, O Lord, at the blast of thy breath of thy nostrils.
Hey, the foundations of the world were discovered at thy rebuke. You know, a great shaking taking place, as it said in that second Esdras 16. The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof. The sea riseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord and before the glory of his power. You can get that Isaiah 24, Amawad Baba Kasha.
This is Isaiah 24, verse 19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage.
By what? Those hailstones, those nuclear missiles being shot to the ends of the earth, as well as the chariots getting in that work as well. All these precepts are bringing out is, lining up with that account of King David being saved by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai in Psalms 18. And again, if we're of that elect number, we are of the house of David. And hey, a similar thing is going to happen to us. But you can go back to that second Esdras 16, Kalaya.
I preach that for you too.
Khan.
It's second Ezra 16 and 13, and it reads, For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
Like brothers, I'm just going to say real quick, like brothers always say, how many archers do you know that can shoot an arrow from one end of the earth into the other? That have to be some pretty long arms. So that's not what it's talking about. It's talking about those nuclear missiles. Again, those hailstones and coals of fire, which are going to be shot to the ends of the earth during World War III. And in the midst of that, Yahweh Shai is going to make his second coming to save the elect, the house of David.
Verse 14.
You can stop right there, Kalai, but you got your precept Koshab.
And this is to back up the point, that you've been making, as it's happened with King David, so it will happen with us, Lord willing. There's Isaiah 26 and 20. It says, Come, my people, into thy chambers, and shut thy doors about thee. Hide thyself, as it were, for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed.
That's a beautiful precept. You can break it down if you want. It's talking those chambers that it's talking about. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is saying, "Come into it, my people, until the indignation be past." Is the elect getting beamed up onto the chariots? And what's that indignation? This great destruction that's about to take place. And when you get it in Revelation, I believe it's chapter the beginning of chapter 15, what does it says? They stood upon the sea of glass mingled with fire, which if a brother can get me that real quick. I think it's
I got you.
You got it, Khan?
Yeah, 15 and 2.
Khan, you got it. Actually, let me see. Start at verse 1 and read to verse 2, Baba Kasha.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 15, verse 1. And I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. For in them is filled up the wrath of Yahweh.
And that last plague, 7 means completion. What does it also talk about? The 7 trumpets. And when that 7 trumpet sounds, that's the salvation taking place. The last plague is, the salvation, while simultaneously the nuclear missiles being shot to the ends of the earth. You got it,
Verse 2. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, standing on a seat of glass, having the harps of God, of Yahweh.
Khan, as I said, and I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. That's talking about, the elect being above, the atmosphere or the ozone layer on those chariots, looking down and seeing, the world, but chiefly America, getting hit by those nuclear missiles and turned into the lake of fire. And as I said, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark, those, as it says, all throughout the scriptures, those 7,000 men that didn't bend the knee to Baal, just talking about the elect that didn't give in to Esau Edom's system, whether, they made it all the way to the chariots or they had to be martyrs. They didn't bow down to Esau's system or the image of it or receive that mark, that sehip, that ultimately received that victory. And over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. To back up what the brother Quashab brought out in that Isaiah, come up into my chambers until the indignation be past. That's the elect again on the chariots, looking down on the indignation, looking down on that great destruction. Did you had something, Kalaya?
Khan, I have a precept for you.
Khan, and then after that we can go back to that Psalms 18. We're at verse 16.
Yeah, this is Revelations 11 and 12, and it reads, "And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them." And just backing up that Isaiah 26 that the brother Kushab had brought out, man. I had also proven the point that those clouds that Psalms the 18th chapter was talking about aren't your ordinary clouds. Right there, the what do you call it? The chariots out of the Bible are also referred to as clouds, right? But verse 13, it reads, "In the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were affrighted and gave glory to the power of heaven." And that pretty much back up damn near every precept that brothers then brought out, going into that earthquake, which is those nuclear missiles hitting the earth, predominantly what? America, man.
That's what that 10th part of the city is talking about, because America's broken into what? 10 FEMA regions.
That's right. But I real quick, I just wanted to bring this word out, right? Because a lot of people, say this phrase, divine intervention. And this is just a simple Google search, and it reads, "Divine intervention is an event that occurs when a deity, God, becomes actively involved in changing some situation in human affairs," and that's literally what's going to happen. When Lord willing, we get beamed up, man. The Lord is going to intervene and pick us up from the earth, man, and save us from the calamities. But you got
kind of straight to the point. But you can go back to that Psalms 18, Quashab.
Is back in Psalms chapter 18, verse 16. It says, "He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters."
I wish you would have. I know you brought your precept out, Kalai, but I wish you would have read that Revelation 11 and 12 after that, because again, that plays perfectly into it. He sent from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. And we know those waters are talking about what? Peoples. And what's it saying? Isaiah chapter 59, "When the enemy shall come in like a great flood, then the Most High, shall set up that standard." And, to back up again that Revelation 11 and 12, And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And we might have to get that Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5.
I'm on
Oh,
that.
you got it? Con.
Somebody else said they had it, or
So you
if not, I God, this Wisdom of Solomon 5 and 1, and it reads, Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors.
And that's what we're doing right now. As we get closer and closer to the end of this thing, and Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh makes his power that much more apparent, what? Us seeing these prophecies come to pass builds up our confidence in knowing that if we've come this far and the Most High has shown these things, that what? That end result's going to come if we endure, being of that elect number, getting saved out of the midst of our enemies, just as King David was, just as many other, men of old, our forefathers, were saved out of precarious situations.
Verse 2, When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear, and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all they looked for.
And what's the strangeness of his salvation? As brothers always say, the last thing the majority of these people are looking for out here is to see a bunch of so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans get beamed up into so-called UFOs. But hey, that's the power and the will of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. And that is what we are diligently doing this work for, so that we can be of that elect number and be saved from this indignation, being brought up into his chambers. And we can see that, especially with DJ Donald Trump being the president-elect, it's looking like he's going to be the man to usher in a lot of these last few prophecies that we're waiting for. So these are some very exciting times. Did brother have a precept?
Kind of got you one.
Kind. You got it. Yeah, you can get it, and then you got it, Kabar, and then we'll go back to that Psalms 18.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 31, verse 5. As birds flying, so will Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, defend Jerusalem. Defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
Somebody get me Psalms 91:2, but reread that precept again, Baba Kashat.
Isaiah 31, verse 5. As birds flying, so will Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, defend Jerusalem.
And what's those birds flying talking about? Those chariots and the elect getting beamed up onto it. I believe in Psalm 68, it refers to golden and silver wings, talking about the metal of the chariots, some of the materials they're made out of, but refers to them as wings. So as it said, as birds flying, Yahweh will defend Jerusalem. The chariots are the vehicles of our salvation.
It says, defending also, he will deliver it, and passing over, he will preserve it.
And deliver us out of the midst of our enemies, us being called up into the clouds, that strangeness of our salvation, us being saved out of these many waters, which, as we can see, they're about to rush quickly onto the nation of Israel, which a majority of our people are going to get washed away in that flood. But you got your precept, you had some more, Amawad?
That's it on that.
Okay, you got your precept, Kabar, and then brother can get for me Psalms 91. You can start at verse 1 and read the verse 6.
So I had that same precept. I'm what I had, but I want to say something on that precept. Though.
You got
it. Yeah, basically, like the chariot represents as the bird, because when birds fly, they protect over they nests, for they little ones, their babies and stuff like that. So basically that represents the chariots, man. They will protect his elect, who I refer to as his little ones. You know what I'm saying? For these dangers that will be happening all around them, man. I just want to say that.
I got a precept too.
Kind.
Yeah, this is Zechariah come out.
Nope.
Zechariah 5:1. It says, "Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a flying roll. And he said unto me, What seest thou? And I answered, I see a flying roll. The length thereof is 20 cubits, and the breadth thereof 10 cubits. It says, Then said he unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the whole earth. My bad, over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth shall be cut off as on this side according to it, and everyone that sweareth shall be cut off as on that side according to it."
Khan. And that flying roll is speaking of the chariots. And as it said, it's the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. Because the chariots, on the one hand, are going to be the vehicles of salvation for the elect. But on the other hand, for you heathens, especially you Edomites, they're going to be the vehicles of your destruction. And as it says in verse 3, then he said unto me, This is the curse that goeth forth over the face of the whole earth. For everyone that stealeth. And how did Esau Edom gain control of everything? By rape, robbery, and murder through his blessing the sword, shall be cut off as on this side according to it. And everyone that sweareth, by these false gods out here, especially amongst our people, or even our people that swear by Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, but what? Pollute the doctrine, shall be cut off as on that side according to it. And I'm going to read verse 4 too. And I will bring it forth, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief. And what's it saying? Isaiah 63 verse 1. Who is this that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? And Basra was an ancient chief city of the Edomites. So modern day Basra was America. And that's speaking of Yahushai coming back with the hosts of heaven to enter into the house of the thief, and into the house of him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof. Those nuclear missiles hitting this place, as well as those chariots firing, that concentrated heat as well, just completely destroying this place. But our brother can get that Psalms 91.
I got you. Where do you want me to start?
You can start at verse 1 and read down to verse 6.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 91, verse 1. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Verse 2.
You can read verse 2.
Verse 2. I will say of the Lord Yahweh, He is my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust.
Khan. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And what? We're dwelling under these laws, statutes, and commandments right now, which is going to be the knowledge, wisdom, and stability of our times as we go into Jacob's trouble, because things are about to get worse than bad out here. As it says in several scriptures, Jacob's trouble is going to be a day like no other, to where even the archangel Michael is going to have to get involved. But with us having this understanding of what's to come to pass, that's going to guide us, Abaratazah, we make it until the very end, to what? Ultimately get beamed up onto those chariots, come into the chambers, so that the indignation can pass over. Keep going on.
Verse 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from the noisome pestilence.
And a fowler, the snare of the fowler is these traps that Esau Edom's going to be coming with. The persecution, the concentration camps, the enemy coming in like a flood with these troops. But again, when the enemy comes in like a flood, the Most High is going to set up that standard to get us out of these snares, these traps of Esau Edom. Read verse 4 out.
Verse 4, he shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler.
Khan. And as the brother brought out in that Isaiah 31, as birds flying, again, this is speaking of the chariots. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. The elect getting beamed up onto the chariots. His truth shall be thy shield and thy buckler. Keep reading that.
Verse 5, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day.
Read verse 6.
Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday.
It was to say, thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day. Those nuclear missiles, because the elect are going to be safe up on the chariots. Nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. These other calamities leading up to the nuclear missiles. If we're of that elect number, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shah is going to have that protective hedge over us, just like he had his protective hedge over his men of old. King David, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. There are many accounts we can go into where the Most High had that divine intervention, as the brother brought out, to save our forefathers out of situations that looked inescapable from. But did a brother have a precept?
Kind of just
Yeah, I got something too.
Real quick on the Psalms 91. When you keep reading it, it talks about exactly what you just said. You're going to witness 1,000 falling. Hey, public shot, just keep reading. I'm just going to break yourself down.
Verse 7, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee.
Yeah, it says it shall not come nigh thee, man. The elect. We're going to be in situations that, scriptures say the righteous will scarcely be saved. We're going to go into the kingdom with stories, with, epic skin of the teeth deliverances, man. That's going to be exciting, but those of us that have the Ruach HaKodesh, that wisdom, is going to keep us stable in that time. Read 8, Baba Gushan.
Verse 8, only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked.
Right. Going back to what the brother brought out in Revelation, we're going to stand in the chariots. We're going to look down at the reward of the wicked. All of the demonic devices that they had on our people is going to be destroyed in nuclear fire. And we get we're of that number. We get a front row seat to the destruction of this place. You got it, Doc.
And what does it say? Them that got victory over the beast and his image and his mark, and they had harps in their hands. As the brother just said, we're going to be looking down from the chariots, beholding, the reward of the wicked, that hail and fire and brimstone, that nuclear destruction. But you had something, Kalai?
I had one too.
Okay.
You can go ahead.
This First Peter 4:18, backing up Amawad, it says, and if the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and sinner appear? Where shall the ungodly and sinner appear?
Did you want to?
He can go into it.
As I said, if the righteous shall scarcely be saved. So as the brother Amawad said, there's going to be a lot of hair at the back of your neck, skin of your teeth moments to where it's like, I've got my back against the wall. They literally got a kinetic device to the back of my head, and they're about to, pull the trigger. But Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to get us out of those situations. One of my favorite accounts of our forefathers is Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, because they were literally thrown into an enclosed furnace that there was no way of getting out of. And they, kindled that fire to get it up. But what? When they looked in there, they saw them without so much as a smell of smoke, but a fourth among them, like the Son of Man. Yahweh Shai was amongst them, protecting them. And when did that take place in? The Neo-Babylonian Empire, and they were saved out of the fire. So with us and Babylon the Great, if we're of that number, we're going to be saved out of that fire again without so much as the smell of smoke on us.
Yeah, if I could say real quick that Psalms 91, it always had me thinking of that movie with Tom Cruise, War of the Worlds. You know, when the chariots first appeared and actually showed themselves and they was zapping people, you know, he was literally weaving in and out of, you know, destruction, you know, and he only seen it with his eyes. It didn't hit him. You know, it hit damn near everybody around him except for him. You know. But I had a quick precept just showing you that, you know, we gonna be in them chariots. And this talking about, I'm gonna just read it and I explain it. This is 1 Thessalonians 4 and 17, and it reads, "Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. Wherefore comfort one another with these words." And that's talking about, first and foremost, the elect that survive, you know, through Jacob's trouble, and we going into that time of them nuclear missiles coming down. We gonna be caught up in the air with those that die in the truth, man. Those that you know, pretty much are martyrs for this truth's sake. We all gonna be caught up in that chariot, man. You know, just further backing up the point that the chariots are gonna be that vehicle of salvation. You got it, out.
Khan. I think another brother had a precept too.
I appreciate it.
Khan, you got it.
Khan's Psalms 121. I'm gonna start verse 1. "I will lift up my eyes unto the hills, and from hence cometh my help. My help cometh from the Lord which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He will keep of thee, will not slumber."
Khan, if I could say real quick, as it says, "I will lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber." What? 10,000 shall fall at thy right hand and 1,000 at thy left, but the Most High shall not cause your foot to slip. He's going to guide you through everything. You got it?
Yeah, I want to say too, man, like it's in the saying too, in the worldly saying, you ain't got to worry about the angels being caught lacking, man, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? It just let us know, hey, man, hey, by the Lord's protecting us, hey, we in good hands. He gonna be on point. The angels gonna be on point at all times, man.
Hey, the brother Kaya always says, you know, the angels have and the Lord has 144% kill rate. So the Lord and the angels have 144% save rate, a salvation rate. So as the Most High doesn't miss when he sends out those orders, hey, he doesn't miss when it comes to saving his elect.
I got a precept going directly into what you're saying too.
Did you have some more, Kabar?
I mean, that was the point.
Hey, read verse 7.
I'm just gonna read down verse 7. So the Lord is thy keeper, and the Lord is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord shall preserve thee from all evils, and he shall preserve thy soul.
Straight to the point. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. What you got, Kushab?
Okay, and there's backing y'all brothers up. This Psalms 34, verse 6. It says, "The poor man cried, and the Lord heard him and saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encampeth round about them that fear him, and delivereth them." And when you go into this word encampeth, it means to pitch a tent. So the Lord literally has angels, you know, camping around his elect, man. All right, his men, you know, that he set up in these last days that's destined for salvation. But you got it out.
And we know that one angel, if I could say real quick, and we know that one angel can destroy the entire planet. So if you've got, and what did Yahweh Shai tell Pontius Pilate? I can call down a legion of angels if I wanted to protect me. So if the angels, it said what? The angels of the Lord encampeth around about those that fear him. Hey, we've got a divine military that's ready to make a divine intervention to protect us from everything out here. So no matter how bad things get, as long as you have that faith in Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, you got nothing to fear. But you got it, Amawad, and then you can make your point, Kabar.
Yeah, I just want to say too, yeah, based on like they say, man, and the angel are top flight securities, man.
God. Yeah, just real quick to back up the statement you made about the angels having 144% kill rate and save rate. This is 2nd Esdras 7, verse 45. It says, "Then shall no man be able to save him that is destroyed, nor to oppress him that have gotten the victory." So in that day, there's nothing. If you're of the elect, there's nothing anybody could do to stop you from getting saved. And if you're not of that number, there's nothing anybody could do to save you. The angels got everything marked. You got it.
That was right on time. That was a beautiful precept. You can't save him that's destined to be destroyed, nor can you stop him that's destined to be saved. Everything's already been predetermined. We just gotta hope that we're written down in that book of life to make it. But you can make you can get your precept, Kalai, and could somebody get for me real quick Job chapter 5? You can start at verse 19 and read down to 23. But you got a Kalai.
Yeah, it's the book of Luke, chapter 21 and 27, and it reads, "And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh." Showing you that, our redemption gonna come in the form of what? A chariot, man. Right along with the Lord. When he entered the atmosphere, that's what we, supposed to be looking for, man. That's the only salvation we should be looking for. But you got it up.
And it said, when these things begin to come to pass, then look and lift up your heads. And what? Right now, we're seeing all these last few prophecies we're waiting for start to come into fruition. And brothers are, seeing chariots more often now than before. And it's only going to intensify as we get closer to the end.
I believe you put in our group chat. It was an article going into how to basically the Pentagon is they perplexed at all the sightings of chariots that have been going on, man.
Yeah, it's becoming so pronounced out here with these chariot sightings that these different government agencies they're having to admit to their existence because so many people are recording them. And of course, you got Esau trying to control the narrative, saying, "Oh, we shot down a chariot and we recovered some bodies and got alien tech." And Esau's gonna, we could see him doing something with Project Bluebeam. But when Yahweh Shai finally makes his second coming, there's going to be no shadow of a doubt who and what that is.
God.
But our brother can get for me that Job chapter 5. You can start at verse 19 and read down to 22, and then we'll go back to that Psalms 18.
I got it. You good, man? It's the book of Job, chapter 5, verse 19. It says, "He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee."
And we know that 7 means completion. So what is it saying? In 6 troubles, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles. All these different calamities of Jacob's trouble that are going to be taking place. And in that 7th shall no evil touch thee. Because what? We're going to operate this out with that number. We're going to get taken up into the chambers of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai until that indignation be passed. Keep going on.
Verse 20. It says, "In famine
he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword.
And, that reminds me of, I believe it's Isaiah 65. My servant shall eat, but, you shall starve. My servant shall drink, but ye shall thirst. Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is going to get his elect through the famines, through the pestilences, through all these, the sword, these concentration camps, the World War III, all of that. Backing up what the brother Amawad brought out in that second Esdras chapter 7, neither shall, roughly paraphrasing, neither shall one be able to stop him, from his hope, in being saved. Keep going on.
And it says, Thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh.
Khan, thou shalt be hid from the scourge of the tongue. We know Esau is going to be coming with this persecution campaign, and we know there's going to be a lot of heat coming our way. But the Most High is going to give us that spirit to endure it. And then, as I said, neither shalt thou be afraid of destruction when it cometh. And this Job chapter 5 is one of my favorite precepts, because as it's about to go into, the Most High is going to put such a magnificent spirit on the elect that when people are crying and screaming and in an uproar out here, the Most High are going to, the elect are going to be, cool, calm, and collected, just like Eli was in the book of Eli.
It says, At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beast of the earth.
Straight to the point. At destruction and famine thou shalt laugh. So with gunshots going off, people getting, butchered to death, all the horrific things, because remember what it says, this is going to be a time like no other. All these horrific, never before seen things taking place, the elect are going to laugh at it. Because of what? Isaiah 33:6. We're going to have that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to be the stability of these times that we're quickly coming into. And it even says, neither shalt thou be afraid of the beasts of the earth. And what's it saying in Jeremiah 15? That birds and dogs and animals are going to be sent to as judgment for some of our people. But, we're going to be even at peace with these wild animals out here. So really, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai is going to have his elect covered at all angles. But you got to have faith and believe in that. But we can go back to that Psalms 18. I think we were at, we were at verse 16.
So what was that?
Psalms, 18 and 16.
It was Psalms 18 and 16. It says, He sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, for they were too strong for me.
And could a brother get from me? Where's that? I think it's Psalms 124. Hold that for me. But as I said, he sent from above. He took me. He drew me out of many waters. Again, the elect being taken up in the sight of our enemies onto the chariots. He delivered me from my strong enemy and from them which hated me, but they were too strong for me. And what did Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai say about Jacob? O Jacob, thou worm. And a worm is probably the most defenseless, creature out here, because we have no standing military. We have no black dollar or community. We have nothing out here. We are completely at the whim of our enemies. But our trump card is Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, who, as we've been going through with these precepts, is not going to cause the foot of his elect to slip. Did the brother have that Psalms 124?
Got it. I got you. This Psalms 124 verse 1. If it had not been the Lord who was on our side, now may Israel say. Verse
Keep
2.
going.
Verse 2, if it had not been the Lord Yahweh who was on our side when men rose up against us, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us.
Hold on a second, and it says this is a song of degrees of David. And when you read in Psalms 18, King David is crying unto Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai to save him out of the midst of his enemies. So in Psalms 124, King David's saying again, if it had not been for Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, then they had swallowed us up quick when their wrath was kindled against us. Our enemies, which hated us, do hate us with that deadly hatred. Go to verse 4.
Verse 4. Then the waters had overwhelmed us. The stream had gone over our soul.
Read verse 5.
Then the proud waters had gone over our soul.
Hey, talking about those waters again, that enemy coming in like a great flood. But again, when that enemy comes in, then shall that standard be set up, that spiritual dam to, push that water to the sides of the elect, while the wicked of our people and everybody else gets, washed downstream by it, so to speak. You can read down to verse 7. You can read down to verse 8.
Verse 6. Blessed be the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yashai, who had not given us as a prey to their teeth. Verse 7. Our soul is escaped as a bird out of the snare of the fowlers. The snare is broken and we are escaped.
Backing up, that Psalms 91, the elect getting saved out of the snare of the fowler, these different traps and pitfalls that Esau sets up to catch the elect. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai is going to get us out of it.
Verse 8. Our help is in the name of the Lord Yahweh Bahashem Shai, who made heaven and earth.
Point blank period. Our help is in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, who made heaven and earth. As it says in Psalms 18, the righteous runneth unto the I'm paraphrasing it, the name of the Lord is like a height, a strong tower, and the righteous runneth into it. And we put all our bets, all our chips on the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai and his word. And in that day, he's going to stand up to defend his elect from those that hated us, just as he did to King David and our other forefathers in the past. But we can go back to that Psalms 18. You can read verses 18 to 19. And if brothers don't have any more precepts, that's it on my end.
This back at Psalms 18 and 19.
18.
18. It's Psalms 18 and 18. It says, they prevented me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord Yahweh was my stay. He brought me forth also into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me.
They prevented me in the day of my calamity, but Yahweh was my stay. Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, our protection to get us out of the snare of the fowler, from these proud waters. Verse 19, he brought me forth into a large place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. And what can we relate that to? The kingdom of heaven, which we can close it out in 2nd Esdras chapter 7. You can start at verse 6 and read down to verse 9, Baba Kasha.
I got you. The second Ezra chapter 7, verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things.
The kingdom of heaven. And remember what it said. He brought me forth into a large place. Keep going on.
The entrance thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there was a fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water.
Hey, these many great calamities on the left and on the right. Broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And, back in that Psalms 91, 10,000 shall fall at thy right hand and 1,000 at thy left. But the elect are going to walk that straight, narrow path through it. You got it, Doc?
And only one path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could be one man go there at once.
Keep going on.
If this city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance?
Hey, we have to go through this fire. A couple of days ago, the head brother of the Baton Rouge camp, Uriah, went into a breakdown of Zechariah chapter 13. And at the end of that chapter, what does it talk about? 2 parts in the land being cut off, but the third part therein going through the fire and being tried and refined as gold is. The wicked of our people in America and these heathens getting cut off. But what? The 1/3 in America going through that fire, going through these calamities, going down that straight, narrow path to eventually receive salvation. And what? Being that broad field, that broad place, the kingdom of heaven. But did any brothers have any closing points they wanted to make? Or any precepts? Okay, so with that, we hope you sincere Akim were edified by this live lesson. And before we get out of here, again, as always, we're going to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakahadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who ruled and teach well. In peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the 4 corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.